Okay, so let's flip the script. We complain a lot about government inefficiency as citizens. Most people do.
Yeah.
Do you think citizens are the problem to some extent? Do you think how we ridicule the government contributes to how the government responds to us?
Yes, I think that counts a lot. As citizens, I'm one of them. Either way, we like complaining. We like complaining so much, even before taking that initiative to go, a step further, to just do your part. There are things we complain about in terms of how services are not working for us, but when you sit down with that person and talk through that person and ask that person what the issue is exactly, they're not able to explain what the issue is. It's just that the way we complain about, how things are expensive, how the economy has, is really not doing well, but we forget about inflation. And inflation is something that cuts across, every country. It's not that it just happens in Kenya. So we need to do our part. Because I feel we're so ignorant, because at times you'd find that someone is complaining about, there's this particular service that I want, but I know I'll not be assisted or something. Probably someone will complain about applying for, let's use an example of applying for passport. Someone complains that, I applied for my passport this day, or I probably plan to apply for my passport, but I know it's going to take all the time, it will simply face delays. But you haven't taken that initiative, because when it comes to matters applying for a passport, what we've been seeing there happening at Nyayo House, it's not the same case that happens everywhere. Because for passport application, that services has been dispensed like to different counties. You can apply for passport from Nyayo House, you can apply for passport in Embu, you can apply it from Nakuru County, in Kisumu County. So they have devolved that service. So it depends on what works for you, because when it comes to Nyayo House, of course the population here, we are quite a lot. So if you want it to work efficiently for you, it's just about identifying which county I would go to, because if you need these services very promptly, like, you have to go to where there's no so much like population. So it just depends on what you want, because I believe in trying to do what you need to do before you start complaining. If something is not working, please do have facts before you start complaining like any other person, like what an ignorant person would do. Just complain on the basis of having your facts with you. Because when you have facts, then you sound like someone who knows what they want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
On the flip side, do you think there's something that the citizens do right in terms of how they deal with the government? Is there something you feel like citizens make more sense?
We pay taxes. Citizens pay taxes, and I think probably that's why they tend to complain a lot, because sometimes they feel like the taxes that they are emitting every month does not equate the services they are getting. So when someone pays taxes from their hard-earned money, it is their right to demand for better services. So I think the citizens do right by just being the good citizens they are. They pay their taxes. And they wake up every day to hustle, because that also contributes to building our economy.
Okay. We're going to do another, I don't want to call it a game, but it's another segment. It's a fun one. So you see, when someone tells you something and there's a way you want to answer them, but then you like mince your words and tell them something else instead. So as a government official, I'll give you scenarios, and then you'll tell me what you want to say and what, as a government official, you'll put out. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first scenario, someone calls your office and says, I sent my request yesterday, why haven't you processed it? What would you want to say as Jane, and what would you say as an official government person?
I think my response to that person will still be the same, because like I told you, I know how to relate with people. So I wouldn't be rude or I wouldn't address that person in a condescending tone, because at the end of the day, when someone calls your office, they have the right to do that. If they feel something is not working for them, they have the right to call you and ask. So I'll probably go ahead and apologize if I get the situation at hand. I'll get to know, to understand where that client is coming from, what the issue is all about, and on behalf of the government, even if I'm not the one who should be in that role to serve that person, I'll go ahead and make apologies on behalf of our office, and probably tell them that we'll do what we need to do for the turnaround time to be as short as possible for them to get the services they require. Yeah.
But we also know very well that not everyone is like you.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I have had my own share of good service and bad customer service at government offices. So we know the people who might take the call, and then whatever answer they'll give the person on the other end might sound rude or inconsiderate. So what do you think there's something that should be done in terms of giving people in the government like a sit down or like a session where, in as much as everyone can have their bad day, they can be able to communicate with citizens and other people who need and require their services in a more polite manner? Do you think that's a necessity? Do you think there should be that situation where people should be sat down and given like a talk on how to, in as much as they can get angry, how to address citizens?
Yeah, that has always been my main concern, even as an insider. I'm speaking as an insider.
Yeah.
Having worked with the government, of course, I've also tried to access services in different government offices. I being one of them, of course, I've gone through, the worst. The way people deal with you, you're like, no, this is what I see in so many clients, because they're treated badly. The negative attitude that is out there, I've felt that, having gone through these offices, I've felt that myself. But what I've been actually trying to employ my colleagues, like I've always tried to talk to my colleagues, and I say that we don't really need resources like to bring experts on customer service experience and all that to train our people. But what really needs to happen, because I know among your colleagues there are people who are good with people, there are people who are really skilled in customer service and all that. What we need to do is just take it upon ourselves to just train our own colleagues and to make them to try to be empathetic. When you're serving a client, you need to apply empathy. You need to put yourself in their shoe. If you are the same person seeking the same service, is that the kind of service the treatment you'd want to experience? So you try to employ more empathy. So I feel like civil servants, all of them need to go through customer service training, because that would bring more sanity. Because the same thing I told you, when it comes to Huduma Center, we have civil servants who work under Huduma Centers are they're well trained. They know how to treat clients. So you cannot compare the officers that are at Huduma Center and other civil servants that are in the back offices. So they need to go through customer service experience training, because that is the only way we can try to change people's attitude.
That's true. And I also believe if you're met with hostility, you bring back hostility. So I think if they are trained, then also the citizens will be polite to them. Okay, so I want to read out some myths about government offices and services. I think you're going to tell me if they're true or they're not true. Okay. So the first myth, Huduma centers can solve all your government problems.
Nope.
No?
Yeah. Most of your problems. But not all of them. Because you don't have all government services in Huduma centers.
Okay. Government employees just sit around drinking tea all day.
In Huduma centers?
Just government employees, like not just in Huduma centers, but also in other offices.
No. No.
But do we have some who do that?
Yeah, but we don't do that all the time, because not every government office has that provision of tea and all that. There's no that provision like in the corporate world. There's no that provision.
Okay. If you know someone in an office that's a government office, you'll get served faster.
Yeah, true. True.
That is true.
Yeah, so true.
Okay. The government has no idea what Kenyans go through daily. I feel like this is something citizens really think the government does not understand them. Is this a myth, or is it true?
It's a myth. It's a myth. They know. Yeah, they know too well. Simply because I work with the government doesn't mean that I don't acknowledge or know what citizens are going through. We know. Probably it's because we don't have the capacity to deal with their issues, but we acknowledge them. We know too well what they're going through. Yeah, but we don't have the capacity to help. Yeah.
Okay. As we close, as we conclude, if you could rebrand Kenya's government PR in one slogan, what will it be?
Whoa. Rebranding.
Yeah, in one slogan.
Be the change you want to see. Yeah, it starts from you. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's
Yeah,
a good
be the
one.
change you want to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as I've said, if you met with hostility, you bring back hostility. So if you met with
Yeah.
kindness, you'll bounce back kindness.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's all for today. Thank you so much, Jane, for
Thank
being
you, Sarah,
here.
for having me.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, it's been fun. You've had a good one. Till next time. Bye.